Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Now, it was brought to my attention that this starting video was missing. I'm not sure what happened, if in the transition to this semester, if it got left off. So I'm hurriedly doing this to show you how you create your company. Once you have created your company, then you can jump into the different videos that are on the page as well. So this is the starting window. Once you've downloaded, you're going to go to File. Let me cancel this. You're going to go to File and click on New Company, and this window pops up. So this is the wizard, and it's going to help you to create your company quickly. So you're going to need a company name. You don't need an address. For the project, you only need a company name. So you're going to watch and see what I do. It's a very quick process. So this is just an introduction as to what it is that you're going to do. So we go next. So I'm going to put in my company, Middlesex Limited. It's a corporation. Well, it's going to be a limited liability company, LLC. This is a US software, so they do not use the word company, they use corporation. But we can select LLC, limited liability corporation. Or better yet, let's use corporation, S corporation, small business. Now, this red asterisk here tells you that out of all the fields that are on screen, this one has to be entered, or it's not going to allow you to go next. So here's the explanation for the red asterisk. It's a required field. Just put in the name of your company and go next. Now, you can create your company from scratch, which means you're going to build your own chart of accounts, which you don't have to do. What you're going to use instead is a sample business type, because Sage has hundreds of business types to choose from. Okay. So before we go to the next slide, we're going to click next. Click the use a sample business type button. Go next. Now we're going to scroll down and look for a detailed business type. And we want computer and computer software retailers. So as you look, you see caterers, commercial printers, construction company, a whole host of business types. Now on the window to your right, depending on what you select, a chart of accounts will be there for you that you can get a glimpse of the different accounts that will be in your general ledger. Let's go next. We're using the accruals basis. Then go next. We're using real-time and not batch processing. Let's go next. We're using a 12-month accounting period. We go next. Our start date is January for our fiscal year, January to December. And that's it. So it's creating the file now. So what you're going to get is a shell. Now, Appendix 1 gives you the general ledger accounts that you're going to need. And these accounts have opening balances in them. Video 1, that is already on Moodle, shows you how to bring the dollar values into your company, the dollar values. But there are other account balances with zero balance. So let's see how we bring those in. Now that we have created the shell, this setup guide pops up. We don't want it, so we're going to click. We're going to first go to the bottom of the screen There's a box there that says don't show this screen at startup. It's not in my visual right now. Let me see if I can adjust that. There it is. Don't allow the screen at startup. So I'm going to click that box, and then let me shift my screen again. Anyway, just exit out to remove it. So this is your homepage. It has the name of your business at the top. It has a main menu bar. It has a navigation bar that allows you to jump into the different sections. So right now, I'm in the customer and sales tab. If I click on the vendors, I will go to the vendors and purchasing tab. If I go to banking, it shows me the banking tab. So when you select the tab on the left, it shows a set of icons, and these icons allow you to do data entry into the system. There's a tag over here, a box that says getting started. Please close it. So let's go back to customer and sales. I do not know why it is showing me this. My customer and sales tab. When I click on it, it is supposed to show, here it is. Let me take off this getting started window. I don't need it. Now, if you had gone into a live database where someone was posting transactions, you'd have seen on the right hand side a list of all the customers. But because you're just creating the company, this section is going to be empty. Now here we have some very important icons, and you're going to notice that some of these icons are connected by arrows, which really shows you the workflow or the process flow when a customer comes in to buy and when they leave with the goods and make the payment. So here's the process for the customers. A customer will call you or send you an email requesting a quote, or they want you to give them a proposal. Now, when you send that to them, they will send back a purchase order to show that they want to transact business with you. So internally, you will generate a sales order. This sales order is a trigger for your staff to put together the inventory items that you ordered. Once the items are sent or dispatched to you, a sales invoice is generated and forwarded to you for payment. Eventually, monies will come in from the customer. So that describes the workflow in the customer and sales section. For the vendor section, it is no different. You also have a workflow. It might look a little simpler, but you generate a purchase order to your supplier. The supplier then sends you the goods and an invoice or a bill. You enter the bill and you eventually pay the bill. Now there are other icons in the central part of the screen. This one, if you want to return something that you purchased, this is the icon that you will use. Now the bulk of your activity centers around this write check window, because this write check window allows you to record payments to the various suppliers. Now what you're going to note with Sage is that there are several ways to reach these particular windows. Let me show you what a window looks like. When you're going to create a customer, you click on this icon and select new customer. and it brings up a window which allows you to capture information about that customer. Your customer ID, the customer's ID, contact information, contact information for someone within the organization, payment and credit terms. Do you want them to, are you going to give them 30 days credit? Are you going to apply a discount? Right now, the standard here is everybody gets a credit limit of $2,500, but you can override that with each transaction. Now, what I'm interested in showing you is a general ledger. Let's go to list, chart of accounts. Now, this chart of accounts, you'll notice, has 1, 2, 3, 4 columns. Let us ignore the running balance column. There's no money in there. But I want you to use Appendix 1 to modify this chart of accounts. For example, your Appendix 1 does not have petty cash. So if I double click on that row, I have the option to delete that account because I'm not using it. The system asks to confirm. I say yes. And when I click to close that window, petty cash should go. Cash on hand also is something that we're not using. If I double click and click the delete button, it removes the account. Let's remove this pop-up window. Now there's an account in there that says interest receivable on your list, but it's not here on the computer. So what we do to add, so note what I'm doing here is modifying the chart of accounts. I'm deleting, and by the way, please do not, sorry, do not delete any accounts. Sorry, what's happening? I've shown you how to delete two. You may delete those two, but don't delete anymore. The modifications that you have to do are additions and editing. Now I'm going to add an account. So I click new. And the account ID you will record is 11,200, I think it is. The description is interest receivable. And the type is not cash, it's other accounts receivable or other current assets. Save and new. So when you want to add an account, you simply go to the menu here and click new, and the pop-up window allows you to feed the information in. But a word of caution, Sage assumes that every account you're creating is a cash account, so it auto-fills with cash. So you need to make sure that as you add in your accounts that are missing from this screen, in other words, you look on your Appendix 1, it is there, but you're not seeing it on the screen. Just make sure that you are using this correct account type. All right. Now the other thing that, so here's my account that I just created. The other thing that you have to do now is to modify the accounts. Now, if, let us say, oh, by the way, this account, you cannot delete it. Computer Systems Inventory, it's not going to allow you to delete it. But let us say, for example, that you are going to modify this account, meaning that this number exists on your chart of accounts, Appendix 1, but the description is different. All you have to do is double click on the account and simply change the name of the description of the account. So this is a different way to modify. So there are 3 ways to modify your chart of accounts. Deletion, which I told you not to use. Adding, which I demonstrated with interest receivable. And editing, which is whenever you have the account number or the account ID there, but the description on your Appendix 1 is different. You just double click on the account number and change the description to match what is on your Appendix 1. And you're good to go. Alright, so this is the video that was missing, and I do apologize. So it's 15 minutes into the video. I trust that it will help you to get started. And all the best, and I'll see you at the interview.